members, how are you? Feeling very great to share this moment with you people. I remember the other time I called upon people for the SOPs, please adhere the SOPs so that we can overcome this pandemic. Last time we met, we had talked about the Great War of Independence. When we talk of the problems in the Balkans, they occurred in a series, in a number of episodes. That's why one historian said that there are two ways of dealing with the Eastern question. The first way of dealing with the Eastern question was a mere plastering that the Ottoman Empire had developed cracks, and the only way was to plaster those cracks, but plastering a crack can't cure it, can't control it. It will continue developing in the inside the building. Then another way of dealing with the Eastern question was a complete reconstruction, and then they destroy the Ottoman Empire and they restructure it again. But no one would wish to go for the second one. There are two ways of dealing with the Eastern question: either a mere plastering or a complete reconstruction. But no one would wish to go for the last one. That's why they kept on postponing the problems in the Balkan region. That's why the Eastern question persisted till 1914, when it exploded into a time bomb. As we finalize the Greek War of Independence, then another problem occurred in the Balkan region, or the Ottoman Empire, or the Eastern problem, and this came to be known as the Syrian question of 1841. When we talk of the Syrian question, we mean a conflict between Mehmet Ali. We mean a conflict between Mehmet Ali of Egypt, and the Sultan of Turkey. Remember, in our previous lesson, we said that during the Greek War of Independence, the Sultan of Turkey was overwhelmed by the Greeks, and had to call his provincial chief, in names of Mehmet Ali of Egypt. He called him that, please come and assist me, and we overcome the Greeks who were becoming rebellious. And he had promised him territories of Syria, Morea, and Crete. But remember, with the intervention of Mehmet Ali in 1826, other powers intervened, and finally Egypt and Turkey were defeated. So after defeating Egypt and Turkey, the Greek War of Independence, and Greece was given full independence in 1832, the Sultan of Turkey saw no need of rewarding Mehmet Ali. That's why after the Greek War of Independence, the Sultan of Turkey never rewarded Mehmet Ali as per his promise, because he had promised Mehmet Ali territories of Syria, Morea, and Crete, as per his assistance in 1826. So after the London Conference of 1832, the Sultan of Turkey refused to award Mehmet Ali, which allowed Mehmet Ali to occupy Syria by force in 1831. So when we talk of the Syrian question, we mean a conflict between Mehmet Ali of Egypt and the Sultan of Turkey over Syria, because the Sultan of Turkey came to award Mehmet Ali with the territories and promised him Mehmet Ali firstly occupied Syria to cause the Syrian question. So in 1831, 32, Mehmet Ali occupied Egypt. Mehmet Ali occupied Turkey. And then Russia also intervened in the war on the side of Turkey. Then other powers, after seeing that Russia had intervened, they also intervened in the matter. And Turkey was forced in 1832 to give up, to surrender Syria, to surrender Syria, Morea, and Crete to Egypt. Turkey was just forced. It didn't handle those territories to Egypt willingly, but it was imposed by the powers of Britain, France, and the others. So how that matter? That was the first. That was the second phase in the Syrian question. Then in 1833, Russia, which had intervened in the Syrian question on the side of Turkey, it separately forced the Sultan of Turkey to sign the Treaty of Unkiya Skelesi. The Treaty of Unkiya Skelesi had two terms. It had the protectorate clause. Protectorate clause, then straight clause. When we talk of the protectorate clause, it meant that Russia was to be the protector. Russia was to be the protector of the interests of Turkey. That in case there was a problem in the Turkish Empire, Russia would intervene immediately as the protector of the Ottoman Empire. That was the protectorate clause. Then another clause was called the strait clause. When we talk of a strait, they are going to apply some geography. That's why this remains a mother of all our subjects. So when we talk of the strait, we mean a narrow water body, a narrow water passage joining major seas. So when we talk of the strait clause, that clause was governing the usage of the two straits of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus. This is the Aegean Sea, this is the South Marmara, and this is the Black Sea. So this is our Dardanelles and the Bosphorus. These were two narrow water passages joining two major seas. So when it came to the strait clause, Turkey was to close these two straits of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus in a time of war and peace for all ships of other powers, and it opened those two straits of Dardanelles to the ships of Russia. So that was a separate arrangement between Turkey and Russia. Russia did it separately because it knew that it would annoy Britain, because it would compromise Britain's naval superiority. We say the Treaty of Unkiya Skelesi had two clauses. One of them being protectorate clause, where Russia was to be the protector of Turkey's interest, and it would intervene in affairs of the Ottoman Empire at its will. Then the strait clause. The strait is a narrow water passage joining two major seas. In the Ottoman Empire, there existed two straits. One being the Strait of Dardanelles, which was connecting the Aegean Sea to Black Sea, then to South Marmara, then Bosphorus connecting the South Marmara to Black Sea. Those two straits were very, very important when it came to commerce and trade. That's why Russia had wanted to monopolize those two straits of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus. That's why it was likely to sign the Treaty of Unkiya Skelesi. Then that was another important event. Then another event occurred in the Eastern question. It is at 839. A war occurred in the Ottoman Empire. This time, Turkey, with assistance from Russia, it waged a war. Against Egypt. Remember, Turkey was just forced to surrender Syria to Egypt. It was not winning. That's why this time Turkey had to launch war against Egypt so as to take over Syria. At that time, even Egypt under Mehmet Ali was getting support from France. But then France was under King Louis Philippe, and its premier was Adolf Thiers. Louis Philippe was the king of France, and this premier was Adolf Thiers. So France was getting direct support. France was giving direct support to the Egyptian. Finally, as that war was going on, other powers were attracted to the matter. Then European powers had organized a conference to settle end this war, which was going on between Egypt and Turkey. Egypt was being sponsored by and supported by France. Then Russia was supporting Turkey. Then European powers intervened in the war and they forced these states to agree on armistice. Then a meeting was called in London. So in 2014, they called 2014 London Convention. Convention was called in Britain to settle the Syrian question. That meeting was called by Lord Palmerston. Lord Palmerston of Britain called that meeting to settle the Syrian question. Louis Philippe of France was isolated. He was not called upon in that meeting. Why? Because he had separately supported Mehmet Ali of Egypt without the consent of Britain. So that one annoyed the French masses. That's why they rose up against Louis Philippe by 1948. Even his premier, Adolf Thiers, resigned immediately. Why? For him, he wanted a war against Britain during that time. But the king had to step down and he was not ready for war. 1939. Then the London Convention of 1840 was called by Lord Palmerston of Britain, and France was isolated. That treaty came up with a number of resolutions. For example, Mehmet Ali was made, Egypt was to be independent. Egypt was no longer to be a state or a province of the Ottoman Empire or Turkey. Then Mehmet Ali of Egypt was confirmed the hereditary ruler of Egypt. Then he was to take half of Syria. Then he was given 10 days to accept the resolutions of the London Conference. But Mehmet Ali was misled by Louis Philippe of France. He rejected the resolutions of the London Conference. Then they launched a war against him. Finally, Mehmet Ali was defeated. He was defeated, accepted an armistice. Then another meeting was called. It was called the Strait Clause. The Strait Clause. The Strait Clause of 1841 was signed. In 1841, the Strait Clause was signed. It was a revision of the London Conference of 1840. So the Strait Clause was governing the usage of the Straits of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus. Remember, in 1833, Russia had forced Turkey separately to sign the treaty of Piaskresi, where Russia was to utilize the waters of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus. So that was cancelled out. When it came to the Strait Clause, Russia was stopped from utilizing those waters of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus, either in time of war or in time of peace. It means Turkey was to close those waters of Dardanelles and Bosphorus from all other European powers, either in war or in peace. So that was the 1841 Strait Clause. Then, finally, Mehmet Ali was confirmed as the hereditary ruler of Egypt, and Egypt became independent from Turkey, and then he lost Syria completely. So that is the cause of the Syrian question. They need to know what were the causes. As long as we have understood the cause of the of the Syrian question. Then the causes are very, very simple. If you are to understand history, you must first understand it in a story form. Then you handle it in an essay form. There it becomes very, very cheap and easy. Then let us look at the causes of the Syrian question. We have said the Syrian question was the conflict. What's the conflict? Between Mehmet Ali of Egypt and the Sultan Mahmud II, Sultan of Turkey over Syria, because Mehmet Ali had occupied Syria firstly after the Sultan of Turkey paid to reward him. Later on, it intervened. It attracted a number of European powers like Britain, France, and others. Finally, the Syrian question was settled by the London Conference of 1840 and the Strait Convention of 1841. So, its causes were political, social, political, economic, long-term and short-term factors as per the analysis below. One of the major causes of the Syrian question was the Greek War of Independence. Remember, in the course of the Greek War of Independence, the Sultan of Turkey called his provincial chief names of Mehmet Ali, who sent his war like a son, whose warmonger, Mehmet Ali, like a father, like a son. Mehmet Ali was a warmonger. Even his son, Ali Pasha, was a warmonger too. He sent him, the man who started executing the Greeks in large numbers. Remember, they had been promised territories of Morea, Crete, and Syria. But after the war, they were given nothing, which made Mehmet Ali to occupy Syria by force to cause a conflict between the Sultan of Turkey and him. The other one was the failure of the Sultan to reward Mehmet Ali to give him Syria as he had promised him. It annoyed Mehmet Ali, because the Sultan of Turkey had not stood by his promise, hence causing a conflict. Then another one was the collapse of the Congress system, which left a vacuum. Remember, by 1930, the Congress system had collapsed, and remember, it was a body which was in charge of settling European problems, but by 1930 it had collapsed. So this gave space for Mehmet Ali to occupy Syria by force, because no one would stop him and no one was there to mediate the misunderstanding between those two leaders, because the Syrian question. Then the weakness of Turkey, the sickness of Turkey. By that time, Turkey was no more, because Turkey had been defeated in the Greek War of Independence. After Turkey being defeated, it gave a lot of confidence to Mehmet Ali that however much he would engage, Turkey was assured of victory, because by the time Turkey was militarily weak, because the Greeks, the Serbians, the Albanians had challenged Turkey. That's why even Mehmet Ali was supposed to engage Turkey in that war, because he was aware that Turkey was militarily sick. Then the Belgian Revolution of 1839. The Belgian Revolution. So we talk about the Belgian Revolution. Remember, 1830. Europe experienced a number of revolutions. You got a number of states, Belgium inclusive, resulting from the Vienna settlement. The Belgians rose up against the Dutch, so as to establish their own country. So by 1939, European powers were busy engaged in the Belgian Revolution. The case in point was Britain and France were occupied by that matter. So that gave ample space to Mehmet Ali of Egypt to intervene, to occupy Syria, because no one would stop him. Even Russia, remember Britain and France were attracted to the Belgian Revolution. It left Russia alone. That's why Russia intervened on the Syrian question. Another one was the Sacred Treaty of Unkias Skelesi. The Sacred Treaty of Unkias Skelesi also caused the Syrian question. When you talk of the Treaty of Unkias Skelesi, this was a treaty which Russia first Turkey to sign. It had two clauses. It had the protectorate clause, where Russia was to be the protector of Turkey's interest. Then the Socratic clause. The Socratic clause was governing the usage of those two narrow water. When you talk of a strait, I say that a strait is a narrow water passage connecting two seas. Those two straits of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus were very, very important for being powers when it came to commerce, trade, and naval building. So remember, Russia at the first time to sign that treaty. So it allied Britain because Britain needed to cancel out that treaty of Unkias Skelesi. So it also attracted Britain to intervene in the Syrian question. And remember, all along Russia wanted to influence affairs in Turkey. Then Turkey's closure of two entrances of Black Sea also to other powers. Remember, Turkey's closure of the entrances of Black Sea. Remember, the Black Sea had two entrances. One of them was Bosphorus and another one Dardanelles. Turkey had closed those two entrances to other powers except Russia. Other powers like Britain were attracted. For them, we're not using these two entrances. One of them being Bosphorus, another one being Dardanelles. Turkey had closed these two narrow water passages to other powers apart from Russia. It had not been Britain. That's why Britain had to intervene in the Syrian question to intensify the matter, hence causing the Syrian question. Then Russia's imperialism towards the Ottoman Empire also caused the Syrian question. For long, Russia had desired to influence matters in the Ottoman Empire. Case in point was the Greek War of Independence. So for that matter, Russia's imperialism had been checked in the London Conference. But later on, Russia intervened in 1832. Then in 1833, in the Unkias Skelesi Treaty. Then in 1840, 1830, 1839, Russia supported Turkey to fight Egypt. Other powers had to come in, had to intervene to stop Russia's activities in the Ottoman Empire to cause the Greek War of Independence. I can talk of Mehmet Ali's invasion of Syria, 1831. Mehmet Ali occupied Syria by force, which annoyed the Sultan of Turkey. By this time, the Sultan of Turkey could not tolerate anymore further disintegration of the Ottoman Empire. That's why he had to come to defend the territorial integrity of the Ottoman Empire, which caused a conflict between him and his provincial chief named Mehmet Ali. Another one, the desire by the Sultan of Turkey to protect the territorial integrity of Turkey, made him to conflict with his subject, Mehmet Ali. Remember, he had lost Serbia. He went then he lost Egypt, he lost Greece. Then this man had occupied Syria by force. That is Sultan Muhammad II not just keep quiet when his empire was breaking into pieces. That's why he had to had to fight Mehmet Ali after occupying Syria to cause the Syrian question. Then the fear among the powers of the military strength of Mehmet Ali. The military strength of Mehmet Ali scared other powers to intervene in the Ottoman Empire between 1831 to 41, which made up the Syrian question. Mehmet Ali of Egypt had established a strong navy and a strong army with support from France, and they had made a number of conquests A case in point was in Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia and Sudan. And finally, I occupied Syria by force. His military strength was becoming a menace to other European powers. That's why they had to come in immediately to stop his activities, which caused a conflict in Turkey and other European powers. You can talk of then the weakness of Metternich and his inability to implement the policy of peace. Remember, from 1915 to 1948, Metternich had stood as the man of peace, as the law of order, as the coaching man of Europe. But in 1930, Metternich's scheme was in a weaker position to oppose Mehmet Ali. And remember, Metternich's influence ended in Central Europe, where he controlled the German and the Italian states. But when it comes to the Balkan region, Metternich had little influence. So had Metternich and he exerted influence in the Ottoman Empire, Metternich would have solved the Eastern question, but had little influence, which gave Russia, Egypt, and other powers who caused confusion in the Ottoman Empire, which caused the conflict between the Sultan of Turkey and his provincial chief, named Mehmet Ali, which caused the Syrian question. Then the strategic location of Syria. Syria was very, very important to many all other European powers, being located in the Middle East. Other powers which were trading in the Far East wanted to raise, could not allow Egypt and Russia taking over Syria, because Egypt controlling Syria, it would put Britain and France's commerce at stake. That's why Britain and France were attracted, because they did not allow Egypt to just take Syria anyhow, which affected them in the matter because the Syrian question. Then the last Turkish administration in Syria. The Sultan of Turkey between 1931, his administration in Syria was very loose and weak, which inspired and encouraged the military to occupy Syria by force to cause the Syrian question. Those are the causes of the Syrian question. Then let us look at the effects of the Syrian question. We are both positive and negative, but in history, we always begin with positive effects. The Syrian question, the Syrian question enabled Mehmet Ali. Remember, the Syrian question was settled by the London Conference of 1840 and the Sweet Convention of 1841. Mehmet Ali was declared the hereditary ruler of Egypt. It means by that time he was no longer under the control of the Sultan of Turkey. He was made the hereditary ruler of Egypt, replacing the former pharaohs. He was made the hereditary ruler of Egypt and was no longer under the sovereignty of the Sultan of Turkey. Then let's talk about diplomacy among European powers. Let's talk about diplomacy. That meaning peace treaties and cooperation among powers. Because of the Syrian question, European powers engaged in a number of treaties which round-table negotiations, which revived the diplomacy. Diplomacy means round-table negotiations. We are organized because of this confusion. The case in point was the London Conference of 1840 and the Sweet Convention of 41. Also promoted the Anglo-Turkish diplomatic relationship. When we talk of Anglo, we mean Britain. The Syrian question promoted the friendly relationship between Britain and the Turkey. While Britain had intervened because of the Syrian question, it intervened in the affairs of the Ottoman Empire because Britain was after safeguarding the Ottoman Empire. Yet Russia disintegrated So because of that kind of care, Britain was giving the Ottoman Empire, protecting it from the aggressive Russia. It created the relationship between the Sultan of Turkey and Britain. That's why the problems of the Turkish Empire were sorted in London, not in St. Petersburg. The case in point, the London Conference of 1827, which was observed in of independence. Then the Syrian question was settled in the 1840 London Conference and the Speti Convention of 41. Then it shifted supremacy. There was a shifting of supremacy from Vienna to London. Remember, after the end of the Napoleonic era, Vienna of Austria became the most important city in European diplomacy because all the peace talks and meetings after the downfall of Napoleon I were settled in Vienna under Prince Metternich. But when it came to the Eastern problems, they were settled in London. The case in point was the 1827 London Conference, 1830, 32 Straight Convention, and London Conference. All of them were settled in London to make London the most important city by time. Then, to a smaller extent, to a larger extent, the Syrian question had negative effects on Europe. It contributed to the unpopularity of Louis Philippe. The Syrian question contributed to the unpopularity of Louis Philippe. Louis Philippe was not welcomed by European powers in the London Conference of 1840. Why? He had supported Mehmet Ali without the consent of Britain. So, not welcoming him in the London Conference, it made him lose popularity amongst the glory seekers, the French glory seekers, which made even his premier Adolf Thiers to resign. The other one, it led the Syrian question, led the resignation of Adolf Thiers. Adolf Thiers was a warmonger and was a glory seeker like the big percentage of other Frenchmen. Not the area he was against Britain in the Syria in 1839. It cannot be him. He wanted the war because Britain had over-intervened near the Azov France. But the king put down the matter. Hence, the premier to resign because he was not pamper Britain and was not ready to follow that dormant foreign policy of Louis Philippe. Then, the war exhausted Turkey militarily. Remember, Turkey was defeated. It fought in a number of wars in which lost soldiers, exhausting it, causing more further sickness of Turkey. Then the Treaty of Skelesi was destroyed. The main reason why Britain intervened in the Syrian question, it was to destroy the Treaty of Skelesi, which had given Russia a lion's share in affairs of Turkey. Remember that meeting was secretly signed and Britain was waiting for an opportunity of challenging that treaty. Then it was cancelled out in 1841. Then it exposed the weakness of Metternich because it created tension among European powers. Metternich had established himself as the coachman of Europe, as the local border. He had anticipated peace in Central Europe, in both Italian and German states. But he didn't intervene in this matter, which showed that this system was not effective. It was partial. It was partially applied only in Central Europe, not in the Balkan region. Then it also contributed to the outbreak of the Crimean War. The Syrian question was the continuation of the Crimean War was the continuation of the Syrian question. Though they had stopped Russia in the Speti Convention, but it continued to intervene in that areas of the Balkans, which finally sparked off the Crimean War, where other powers like Turkey, France began to fight Russia for over intervening in the Turkish empire. Then let great loss of lives and destruction of property. Very many people were killed, buildings and others were destroyed. Then the badly affected relationship between France and Britain. The Syrian question soured relationship between Britain and France. Why? During the London Conference of 1840, Britain did welcome France. And remember in 1839, France had wanted to fight Britain during that war of 1830 because France was giving support to Mehmet Ali. So that is soured the misunderstanding between these two states, which caused caused bad blood in those two states. It explains why France was not welcomed in the London Conference of 1840. It was a clear signal that Britain and France were not in good relations. Then it justified the sickness of Turkey. Turkey's sickness was justified. Militarily and economically, Turkey was no more. It was a decaying empire. It was a decaying empire. It was like some of the one another variant of COVID-19. Then it got this one, which is a very new and very, very dangerous. So the same happened to Turkey. So then, in conclusion, the Syrian question, which had started in 1831, it was settled in the Strategic Convention of 1841. Its effects were to a large extent negative, and just some few positives. But Russia's influence in the Ottoman Empire was checked, and the Ottoman Empire's territorial integrity was restored. Mehmet Ali was made the leader of Egypt. Then, this second episode of the Eastern question has only contributed one question in 2000, I believe. They said the question: examine the causes and the consequences of the Strategic Convention of 1841. You people, I told you that history is dynamic, it's not static. We historians, we are very dynamic because we deal with things which keep on changing, the way we phrase and the way we state. That's why that question was, the way they said it, it was very dynamic. It was not very direct, but we expect the historian to apply the same content, to play around with the content. The same content, we must make sure that it fits in that question. Examine the causes and effects of the 1841 Strategic Convention. Then we bring in the causes and effects of the Syrian question. But instead of Syrian question, there we introduce the Strategic Convention. Like here it was said, discuss the causes and the consequences. Discuss the causes and the consequences of the 1841 Strategic Convention. This was a peace treaty signed by great powers to restore peace in Europe, particularly in the Turkish Empire. It was the same treaty which ruled out the governance of the Straits of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus, which were located in the Black Sea. In that treaty, those two Straits of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus were to be closed to all European powers by Turkey in time of peace. And the meeting was attended by Britain, France, Egypt, and Russia and other European powers. And it was settled, it was chaired by Roddy Palmerston. Its causes were socio-political and economic. Then let us bullet some of the causes. The desire of Palmerston to destroy the Turkish, the 1833 Treaty of Unkiya, because it was giving Russia and utilized the waters of Dardanelles and the Bosphorus for its naval arrangement, which was scaring Britain's naval superiority. Then the need by Britain to protect its naval and trade influence in the Mediterranean, because the Treaty of Unkiya and allowed Russia to utilize those waters, and it had free access to Mediterranean because it was controlling the Black Sea. Then established an alliance between Britain and the Sultan of Turkey, and very many others. So in case they said such a question, examine the causes and effects of the Spanish conversion. Then you manipulate causes and effects of the Syrian question. In history, we answer only the question. We are not static. We are dynamic. Then 2019, Waukesha set a question which was taken to examine the causes and the consequences of the Turco-Egyptian war. They are calling for the Syrian question. So with the Syrian question, we are done. So look for given the question is. So if you understand the Syrian question, then you must trace it from the Greek War of Independence, where Mehmet Ali was called by the Sultan of Turkey. Pray people suppress the Greek War of Independence. The Sultan of Turkey to provide him those promised territories. Then it occupied Syria by force, making Turkey fight against him. Other Greek powers were caught in the matter. Then Turkey was forced to surrender Syria to Egypt. Then we saw Russia forcing Turkey to sign a separate treaty of Unkiya-Skelesi, which had two clauses of security clause and the protectorate clause. And finally, in 1938, there was a war between Egypt and Turkey, which had other powers intervening in the matter. To sign the London Conference of 1840, then the Security Convention, which was a division of that one. So that is the Security Convention. That was the Syrian question of the Security Convention. We are going to look at the most interesting episode in the Balkan region. So you people, what you have to know, the Eastern question was like a movie that the episodes followed one another. Many movies are made up like those soaps which people like enjoying. They're made up of a number of parts, of movies, of episodes, or seasons. So even the Eastern question, it had a number of episodes which occurred at different times. That's why one historian said there are two ways of dealing with the Eastern question. One, a mere replastering those cracks which are developed. Then a complete reconstruction. You demolish it and then you put it again. You put a new country because Turkey was dying. Remember the Eastern question was very clear. Who was taken over from Turkey? Which country was taken over from Turkey? Because that time Turkey was a decaying empire. It was no more. Where, when, and to what extent? Turkey was rumbling, was staggering, was like a car which was soon getting there, which had lost its way, it was like a car which was soon knocking a tree, which was off track, and whereby lost its control. That was it. Turkey. Then we want to look at another interesting episode in the Premier League, in the Eastern question. I could say it was more, I can't say that it was the climax of the game, but it was the most interesting episode. Like in any other movie, there could be that episode, that part, which is more interesting than the other. So we have to look at the most interesting episode, and this was the third episode. And this came to be known as the Crimean War. Crimean War of 1854-56. Remember, we have to first trace the developments, the things which caused the Crimean War. So remember in 1841, the Sweaty Convention. was signed, which had stopped Russia's imperialism in the Balkan region of the Turkish Empire, because the Treaty of Skelesi, which had given Russia the rights to protect Turkey and to control the waters of the Dardanelles and the Bosphorus, was cancelled out. It means Russia had been expelled, had been chased out of the Turkish Empire. But Russia didn't give up. Russia's imperialistic libido was too high in the Ottoman Empire. Though Russia didn't stop, it continued. It never gave up. It was like a starter fire. Later on, in 1944, Tsar Nicholas I of Russia went to Britain. Tsar Nicholas I of Russia went to Britain and asked the leaders of Britain, please let us dismantle, let us break down the Ottoman Empire. And then Britain was to be given Egypt and Crete. In 1944, the Tsar of Russia, Tsar Nicholas I, visited Britain and asked the leaders of Britain, please let us disintegrate the Ottoman Empire. Then Britain was to take, Britain was to get Egypt and Crete, while Russia was to occupy Constantinople temporarily. And that was rejected. That proposal was rejected because Britain was after safeguarding the territorial integrity of the Ottoman Empire. Also, Russia suggested that other states like Wallachia, Moldavia, Bulgaria, Serbia should be given independence, and Russia would be the protector. So, Russia, though its activities in the Balkan had been stopped by the 1841 Swedes Convention, in 1844, Russia brought another proposal on table. When the Tsar visited Britain, he told the British, please let us break down the Ottoman Empire and take each one of us its own share. For you, Britain, take Egypt and Crete. For me, I will take Constantinople. Then Bulgaria, Serbia, Moldavia, Wallachia, and others should be given independence. But me, as the Russia, I will be the prefect, the supervisor, I will be the supervisor of those people. That Britain rejected it. Then in 1853, Russia also brought similar proposals to Britain. Please let us break down the Ottoman Empire. Britain rejected. Why did Britain reject? Britain never wanted Russia to influence. Russia would become the most influential state in the Balkans and the Middle East. Britain never wanted Russia to influence affairs in the Balkan region and the Middle East, because it would enable Russia to have free access to the so-called Black Sea and the Aegean Island. And Russia's warships would occupy those waters. So Britain was after defending its commerce and trade. And Russia influenced the Ottoman Empire. It would control, it would be the most dominant power in the Middle East and the Ottoman Empire, which would put Britain's commerce, trade, and naval arrangement at stake. Then Britain thought that Russia was over-exaggerating the Ottoman Empire. They were over-exaggerating the issues. Yes, Turkey may have been sick, but not all sick people, it means that they are going to pass away. No, somebody may be sick for even 10 years. That's why Britain was only contented with the way Russia was describing Turkey. Britain thought that Turkey was still strong, though it was sick, but was not bedridden. No, they thought that Russia, that Turkey would be saved, which Britain rejected. Then, in 1853, problems in the Ottoman Empire came at the climax. In 1848, Europe experienced another phase of a revolution. In Austria, then to other parts of and France itself experienced revolutions. So the leader of France, name was Louis Philippe. Louis Philippe was overthrown. Then Louis Napoleon took over power, was voted into power. Later on, he seized the power and he became Emperor Napoleon the third, because he was coming from the lineage of Napoleon I, and he had promised the French masses who had voted for him in 1848 as a president that he was winning for any glory as his uncle Napoleon I, because he had been a nephew, if I'm not mistaken, of Napoleon I, and he had promised French people to conquer more territories as his uncle Napoleon I. Then in 1851, he seized the power and declared himself as an emperor, a lifetime emperor. Then, in 1853, Emperor Napoleon III visited, sent proposals to the Sultan of Turkey, please give me back the responsibility of looking after the holy places of Bethlehem and the sacred church of Manda. When we talk of Bethlehem, we talk of the holy places, we mean the places which located around Jesus' birth, growth, and death. So, these places of Bethlehem, Nazareth, and the others, Jerusalem, where Jesus was born, where Jesus moved from, and where he came from, they were located in Palestine, which was a state in the Ottoman Empire. But that Ottoman Empire was being ruled by Muslims who didn't pay any respect or who didn't attack any value those places of Bethlehem, Nazareth, and Jerusalem. So those Ottoman Turks, they brought upon France, which was a Catholic country, which was paying a lot of respect to Jesus Christ because we are Catholics, to take over the Lord of looking after those holy places of Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and Nazareth. So through the treaty of Kainagi, then France signed the treaty named of Kainagi-Puchu. So through the treaty of Kainagi-Puchu, France was given the responsibility of looking after those holy places where Jesus was born from, where he grew from, and where he was crucified from. So France was the one in charge of looking after those places. But later on, France gave up the responsibility of looking after those places. Then the Greek monks and nuns started looking after those places, and they were collecting large sums of money because there were many people who went there to make a pilgrimages. And then those Greek monks were being supported by Russia. Then it was the emergence of Napoleon III. Remember, he was a French Catholic, himself a Catholic. He had promised the French masses that he was winning French glory like his uncle Napoleon I. Then his first move to make winning French glory for his country was that matter. He went to Turkey and he asked the Sultan of Turkey, please, can you give back France? Can you give us back the responsibility of looking after those holy places? Then the Sultan of Turkey could not deny. Then he took away that responsibility from the Greek monks who had looked after those places for so long. Something which annoyed the Russians. Then they sent their Prince Menshikov. Prince Menshikov was sent to Constantinople to tell the Sultan of Turkey to confirm Russia as the protector of all of Christian Orthodox in the Ottoman Empire. And then the Sultan of Turkey was given advice by Lord Stratford D. Wycliffe. Then the Sultan of Turkey was persuaded to turn down Russia's request by Lord Stratford. Lord Stratford the decree from Britain. Lord Stratford the decree, who had been his ambassador at Constantinople, told the Sultan of Turkey to reject Russia's proposal and request. Something which annoyed Russia, because Russia had sent its Prince Menshikov, who went and bullied the Sultan of Turkey. Then the Sultan of Turkey was very, very firm. He rejected that proposal of giving Russia the responsibility of protecting all the Christian Orthodox in the Turkish Empire, because it would give Russia unlimited to intervene in the Turkish Empire at any time of its will. Then, after the Sultan of Turkey rejecting to give Russia that responsibility, it annoyed the Tsar Nicholas I of Russia, and then he had to occupy Wallachia, the Turkish territories of Wallachia and Moldavia, because he was annoyed. He went and occupied Wallachia and Moldavia, after the Sultan of Turkey failing to confirm him as the protector of the Christian Orthodox in the Ottoman Empire. After occupying Wallachia and Moldavia, European powers of Britain, France, Austria and others sat down to mediate those people, not to fight, to settle the matter, to settle the matter amicably. Then after discussions, they sent proposals to both Britain, to both Turkey and Russia. And then Russia misinterpreted the proposal as that it had allowed her to continue questioning Turkey to allow her to be the protector of all Christian subjects. Then Turkey requested Russia to withdraw from Wallachia and Moldavia. Russia refused. Then Turkey decided to declare war against Russia, because Russia had occupied Wallachia and Moldavia. So when Turkey declared war against Russia destroyed the Turkish fleet. The Turkish fleet was destroyed at Sinope. This was the place where the Russians destroyed the Turkish fleet. It was destroyed at the place called Sinope. This squadron of warships was destroyed at Sinope. So the destruction of the Turkish fleet at Sinope, it annoyed other European powers. And that declared war against Russia. When Russia destroyed the Turkish fleet at Sinope, other European powers were attacked, because it was a resistant action. It was destroyed people in different countries of Europe, especially Britain and France, pressured their governments to declare war against Russia. So there was anti-Russian sentiments in Europe. The public opinion was demanding for war against Russia because of her activities in the Balkan region, which forced Britain, France and other powers declare war against Russia to cause the Crimean War. Later on, Russia was forced to withdraw from Wallachia and Moldavia. It accepted, but Britain and France had not enjoyed the war, so they had to continue fighting Russia. Though Russia had accepted a withdrawal process from Wallachia and Moldavia, Britain went ahead to fight Russia to cause the Crimean War. So the Crimean War is regarded as the most useless and the most wasteful war ever fought in modern history. So I believe that is a clear background for the Crimean War. Next time we shall meet we shall continue talk about its causes and its effects. I wish you well. God bless you.